Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, James back here making dinner. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
What I wanted to do is, what was it? Tuesday we put up a video on the kitchen remodel stuff that Jenny is super excited about. I didn't realize she was chewing food, and that's why she's hiding from us. But it left some questions for you guys, and it made me realize we didn't fully explain everything as well. And also, as always, whatever ideas you guys have or whatever, we are more than happy to entertain those. And you guys have also had me start asking Jenny some questions. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? So I really appreciate that. But let's show you a couple of these things. All right, guys. This video really turned into more of you guys tagging along, listening to Jenny and I discuss stuff, which you might find entertaining, but it might also explain a lot of what we want to happen in the kitchen here. And ideas we've come up on the fly thanks to you guys. Also, the lighting in here is awful with these yellow light bulbs, and it really, I think, wreaked havoc on the video quality here, so I apologize for that. Number one is that refrigerator. Actually, it might be the number 2 most commented thing maybe on Tuesday's video, but they're like, can't you move that fridge? Get it out of there. Put a countertop in there. Believe me, guys, you're speaking my language, and I love what you're saying, but there's some problems. Here's our whole kitchen. So.
Might be, best to go back there or in that.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to pan all around here. There is nowhere to put it.
Nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. Around this hallway right here, I had entertained the idea of putting it in this walkway, like right here, and eliminating this cupboard space, but it'll still stick out. I'm pretty sure, right, Jenny?
Yeah.
It'll still stick out from this corner.
Plus, not to mention the plumbing that would have to be run. And this is not normal floor right here that you're standing on because of the way that that addition is built.
Right. But so the other thing with the fridge, probably the number 3 or number 4 thing, are people are saying, why don't you move this over and put a small little countertop in here between? Again, you're speaking my language, and I absolutely love what you're saying because the stove in this corner is awful.
It is awful.
Especially being right-handed and like your elbow's right up against this brick wall.
Always. We've learned how to stand like this to cook because when you stand straight, you're friendly.
And a lot of people are saying we need to move the fridge and put a countertop here next to the stove to make things like canning and cooking better, just to take something off the stove and put it on the counter. I am in 100% agreement. I love what you're saying, and I want it to be like that eventually. But let's go back to the fridge. We have this heater that is sticking out from the wall right here. Now look at this. Jenny was about to show you guys earlier, but I kind of cut her off. That's all we can actually open this freezer door right here. And even so, I mean, we could pull it farther forward and have the freezer door open even more, but even if we scoot it that way a couple inches, it's going to hit that door. So something I haven't really talked to Jenny about, but I'm going to right now, babe, to get your ideas.
Oh boy, okay.
Because I love the idea of scooting the fridge over to the wall. Mm-hmm. I could build a small little platform to put it on, and it would only have to go up about 2 inches.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to have you do when we got the new fridge, which is going to have a pull-out freezer drawer in the bottom.
Right.
So it's
it might have to go up even more than that.
It's going to have to be on a platform. So I'm fine with that. It's not like I can reach the top of the fridge very well. Anyways, I have to get a chair to get, and we won't have all the spices up there. So I'm fine with that. If you're fine with that.
So we might go ahead and do that as part of this stage of the project. So the stages. You're busy, aren't you?
No, you're fine.
You're cooking dinner.
I need to stir.
Yes, stir. So the stages. We didn't finish telling you guys all the stages. So right now, I think I could work on getting this up on a platform as part of this stage.
Before the floor.
Before the floor, yes.
Yeah.
And then we'll put a nice piece of trim down there or whatever's.
Okay. Something is going to have to go, otherwise something has to be across the front, otherwise Nerf bullets. and hot milk cartons.
Yeah, it's not going to be a crawl under thing. It's going to be like a 2x4 with some stuff to make it look pretty.
Everything goes under the oven.
So that will give us a small countertop this size right here. Which that would even be nice for putting spoons on and stuff.
No. Can we do a little bit different?
What?
Move this over. It obviously can't go all the way over because the door still has to be able to rotate right here to open.
Yes, but it could also come forward a little bit more to wrap around the corner and stuff too.
But can we split it in half of what goes on one side of the stove, what goes on the other side of the stove, and get it away from the wall a little bit? Have a little.
Okay, well, there's two things.
Little counter here, little counter here.
Yes, and I don't disagree with you, babe, and I'm sorry for doing a video while you're cooking, but we are scrunched on time.
I know.
But the other bad thing, awful people that people are, not awful people, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I promise you, that's not what I meant. The other awful thing that people are saying, if you've watched this channel long enough, you know I don't know my words all that well, is the two of those close together is bad.
Right. Yeah, because I mean,
the
side of the fridge is warm right now because I have the oven on.
It might also just be lack of airflow too, or something. But but the oven is on. You're right. Not just the stove. The oven is on.
The oven's on too. Yeah.
Could make a really small thing there with some insulation, maybe. So what do you guys think about that? A really super skinny countertop right there, more as a divider, and have like the little wall or whatever insulated, and then put an actual countertop on that side, which would still only be pretty small, but we could set spoons on it, and we could show us just a little bit of elbow room.
Question, and we would have to look this up. I know they make really narrow, like pull out thingies. So how cool would that be to pull out and bam, spices next to the stove so we can cook it?
I really like that. I really like that idea.
And if I have to get rid of my elbow space,
but it would probably be on that side.
Well, if I have to give up elbow space to make it fit, and we really want to separate these, as like for it to be a spice.
Do we want to be bending down for spices and stuff though?
Well, I mean, I can't reach.
Well, that's true. I mean, it would be more organized.
This is more my level, like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so talking this out with you guys on YouTube, I really appreciate this. We might be looking
at some great feedback.
We're gonna put this up on a platform, possibly. Maybe even a little bit higher than we want, maybe, just to make sure. But whenever we get a new fridge, I mean, the simple 2x4 platform I'm speaking of with a sheet of plywood on it could be added to if needed to be later down the road. But just need to get this door. We just need to get it high enough for this door to go over the heater, which it is pretty close. So on this, it was also suggested, I think, to maybe get the stove over here, cut out some countertop, lose some countertop over here, get the stove over here, put a countertop over there to work on some other stuff. Because as we said earlier, we're also going to have an island up. Yes, we have a hanging bar in our hallway for Grace to play on. Actually, all the kids do, but it's technically hers. Okay. So I'm liking that. And we'll get some separation between the stove and all that. And you're right. If we're missing some elbow room, but we have a nice little cabinet area right here, that'd be awesome. And all of that seems pretty cheap. Or pretty easy to do. So, okay, let's talk about this. What we failed to say in the other video was that when we go to put an island here, our plan, and we don't know if that's going to be, what, Jenny? That could be a year or two, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to Alaska. We're spending a lot of money this year.
Just depending on how Alaska goes, you know, maybe later this year, but likely next year for the island portion.
Right. So, the island that will go here, we are talking about there will be a range on the island. A gas range on the island, right?
Well, we've talked two ways. We've talked about doing that, but we've also talked about not doing that and keeping the stove over there.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I tell you what. Okay. Yes. So, if this works out, if we're happy with this, then maybe we'll just keep it that way because honestly, I love the idea of a completely open, huge countertop island. I just love it. And one side of it will be a breakfast bar as well. I don't like the idea of that being cluttered up with a range.
No.
But I know you do like that idea.
Yes.
But
I do.
And I do. Actually, I do too. I do.
I like it. I like the idea of more counter space. I like the idea of the countertop range and the in-wall oven. I mean, I spend quite a bit of time cooking, and we spend even more time canning. It would be nice to have the range out here where there's more space. Like if you have a range and the counter, okay, you're getting your canning stuff ready, it's going right into the canner. You're not walking from here to here. It's coming out of the canner onto the counter.
Same with
You're
dinner.
not walking from here to here. Yeah, same with dinner. It's bam, right there. So I like the idea of that, and then have an in-wall oven. Then you're not bending over, breaking your back, getting in and out of the oven and this and that. It's right there.
And this is where the in-wall oven would be.
Yes.
And then we could theoretically have a countertop on top of that, theoretically?
No, because the in-wall oven would go like here.
Oh.
But we could have storage underneath.
Okay, right. Okay.
You know, like,
So that's
because down here, the bottom of your oven has a purpose. Mine is to hold cake pans. So that's not what it's for. But that's where I store the cake pans.
Isn't that just like a warmer down there?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a food warmer. But
we have a warm setting on the stove.
Yep.
So it's kind of two different scenarios. If we like the stove here with the separation and the small little countertop right there, then we might keep it that way. But if we don't, then the island will potentially have a range. That would be, if we got an island with a range and then the in-wall oven, we're looking at a while for that money-wise, I think.
Yes. So if we, then yeah, it would end up being a couple years, because when we do that too, we're going to be putting cabinets along the bottom, and I don't want those cabinets different than these cabinets. So when we do that, we're doing all of this.
Right. So that was a whole nother thing. Is in that other video, nobody mentioned the cabinets, but I'll just fill this in.
Which is funny because the first thing my sister asked me is, well, why aren't you doing the cabinets?
Right. Just money and finances. We're gonna, when this is said and done, we're gonna give the cabinets a nice coat of paint. Jeni would like to put some new hardware on them. One of our subscribers actually has the same exact hardware on their cabinet.
Yeah.
So like the second round, possibly even the third round, depending on what we're doing,
right,
is going to be cabinets and island so they can match.
Yes.
So that could be a while down the road. So we're trying to do what we can do right now. And to recap that and get you guys out of here and be done, we're getting a new range hood to put right here. We're getting a new gas stove, which I am kind of assuming we're going to probably have for at least 2 years.
Yes.
I think we talked ourselves into this. Going to build a platform here, raise that up, I don't know, maybe 4 inches. I didn't really measure it right there. Move this over. We're going to eliminate this space here. We might leave enough for a broom. And see if we can get a cabinet to fit in here. So that will all be happening in this phase 1. Also in this phase 1 is a new countertop and a new sink. I think we're keeping the faucet.
Keeping the faucet. The faucet's maybe a year old.
And the light fixtures that we already did, which is putting off this really, like everything's yellow in this video now, because you guys are used to seeing videos in this kitchen where actually it's only that's kind of weird. It's only the video looking that way, but you guys are used to seeing a fluorescent light, 2 fluorescent lights in here lighting this place up, and we got rid of that. But new flooring. What am I?
Tile.
Oh,
The
yeah,
one thing
yeah.
that started all of
yes,
it.
and that started all that. And I had put a small clip in the other video and said, this all started with Jeni buying tile like 3 years ago and me not wanting to do it. And the last couple weeks I said, okay, let's get going. Let's get this tile up. And then it snowballed.
Well, what really happened is we used to have wallpaper. All of this is wallpaper. And Grace came right here. She was about 2. and peeled a strip off. And I was like, and I couldn't handle it anymore. So 3 years ago, I ripped all the wallpaper off. And then it sat here for a while because I'm like, okay, great, that was great. Now what do I do? Finally, I picked out a paint, and I've been working on painting. Picked out the tile, and then been waiting for that. So Mike's like, okay, let's go ahead and get the tile. I'm like, yes, gonna do it. And then it turned into, well, what else are you looking for? And I'm like, well, let's look for new lights. Well, if we're gonna do new lights, I was like, I really want a new counter. Well, that's pretty cheap, so let's do a new counter. Okay. And then he brought up about wanting a stove, and that's when I went, hold on. Do you want, let's make the kitchen better now, or do you want to know what Jeni wants in a kitchen? And he's like, what do you want?
I might have said some explicitives.
What do you want? And so then it turned into, I want the island with the range and the wall oven. And then, so like, it all just snowballed from there. And then it was like, I want new flooring. And well, then we picked out flooring. And I'm like, well, I want the flooring to go that way. So then the table can go that way. Because I do not want the table over carpet. 4 kids, carpet, table. No, thank you.
I grew up with my table over carpet, but
I'm not that good at cleaning. So I didn't want that. So that's why we're gonna run the flooring all the way that way, so then the table can get out, so then eventually we can have the island. So that's how all of that happened. I can't help it. And then at the same time, I was like, you want to hear my plans for the bathrooms? So I dragged him into the bathrooms and told him how we're going to remodel those next.
And I think I cut that conversation short with, let's just concentrate on the kitchen right now. These yellow lights, we're actually, or whatever they're called.
Soft white.
Soft white. They're LEDs, but they resemble the old natural, regular old light bulbs. Somebody here?
Ooh.
What's he barking at? Sarge, no. No. Bud, nobody's here. There's nobody here for you to attack. What was I saying, though?
Lights. Union.
Yeah, so we're used to the fluorescent lights in here. So we actually have the white and the like old-time 60-watt light bulbs in here. These are LED, but 60-watt equivalent, and they look like a normal light bulb. The white light is also really nice. I guess the dogs are barking at deer. Let's go see if we can find them. So yep, they're right out there, right next to what we call our privacy trees. Right at the horse gate there. And they're eating the privacy trees. All right, I think this video turned out way longer than I intended it to. So, and maybe I can have it edited down nicely for you guys. But I think I covered all the big possible plans and maybe answered some of your questions and maybe incorporated some of your responses.
Yeah, but I'm sure plans will also change as we go.
They always do halfway through.
Another thing that we need to think about doing is replacing the window that I put a hole in.
Oh, yeah. Lawnmower accident. I don't think you can really see.
Oh, yeah, no, you can see it.
Oh, yeah, right there, lawnmower accident. That's just a storm window out there. That shouldn't be too awful.
No, it won't be too bad, but that's an eyesore.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see if we can get going on this thing.
Oh, we will.